All right, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son last night. And let's tie some things in together for us real quick, because last night we saw the cheetah arrive with a serrano pepper in the cat tie fight. So the gas is gone. That 1-inch punch, the punch out, was gone. It was a sleeper fight, and probably one of the worst boxing matches you could watch. And you don't really win a boxing match by numbers or whatever, right? So either way, there's multiple things going on here. The Wicked, that new candle that's being passed. We see Mike Tyson. He hugged the little Hezbollah kid, 22-year-old boy, not long ago. And then he comes and hugs Jake on stage at the end of the fight, and they almost kiss as they headbutt and stuff. It's all nice and sweet. And then there's all these excuses afterwards about why this and that, whatever. But so the biting the glove. Okay, he said he was an animal. I'm not that animal anymore. Or I was an animal back then, whatever kind of thing. So this is a seed. They're kind of telling you, like, hey, this thing they fed you back then. This things they were doing in the 80s and 90s and such, okay? The action heroes, whatever. This is a portion of animalistic behavior. The animal is the beast man. So this is where things have been put on you as a test, okay? There's a time and place for these things, but to do it in the mind is to do it in the body. So you're actually living in a very stressful zone if you're just zoning out and going to sleep and watching these things, basically, is how they work. So they're programming you while you are awake, but you're asleep in the mind, and you're living in a constant stress, a constant frequency of death, mutilation, sadness. You're singing about it nonstop. All these things you're watching, okay? And you're watching, like, you're all confused because you're watching these things every day. The body thinks of them as friends, and then you go into real life, you ain't got no fucking friends or whatever, and there's nothing wrong with that, but most people aren't okay with that, or they're not okay with a single eye. You have to be okay with just being alone. Can you live alone in the woods? All right? Can you go eat by yourself without worrying? All these different things, okay? But either way, all these things are being put forth to program you, and he's telling you I'm not that type of animal. And then we all have these animal instincts or whatever, but this is where our society is taking those animal instincts and making a society to control every single man, to where man can't live as what that single man wants to do. All right, everything is put forth on you, and then you're told you can't do any of it, basically. But this biting is the outlet for that animal instinct would have been boxing, and then he's no longer has that in his heart per se, so now he's just biting on the glove, those kinds of things. But it's also the Bitcoin. It ties into the Bitcoin. So as the bigger it is, the harder the fall. All right? And that Harris and the deers and all that stuff are not understanding. So they're all lined up in the targets, and the targets is the crosshairs and the crosshairs. So, and you already got the combs lined up for these things as the hard part comes in and to do the sectioning. So that sectioning is tied to your C-section birth and all those things for the man-child that's playing out. The woman is in that travail to push that birth out. Okay? But willing to hear because I'm at work. Just the fight and the Tyson, the exchanging. That's like an old light from the 80s going to a new light because we're in the new 80s and 90s, and Biden's 81, Trump's 78, and these are time sections. And then Elvis is 89 going on 90 in January if he was alive, and then he's also 47 years dead, and this is tying in back to the Generation X, okay? And then you have Generation X coming now with an X, and all these things are going into each other. All right, so either way, later.